Every year, the government pushes trillions into the economy to keep the country running, but a massive chunk never reaches its destination. This chart shows the estimated annual loss to the American taxpayer. Between $233 billion and $521 billion vanishes every year through fraud, waste, and mismanagement. To put that in perspective, this loss exceeds the entire operating budgets of most federal agencies. During the rush to distribute COVID-19 relief, a lack of oversight left the vault door wide open. Over $300 billion ended up in the hands of fraudsters instead of the businesses they were meant to support. When losses hit this scale, the political reaction is consistent. Lawmakers take to the microphones promising to slash budgets and gut federal programs to stop the bleeding. But applying a blunt percentage cut to a massive agency often breaks the system further. These cuts often drain resources from the very oversight offices, auditors, and data systems designed to catch the thieves. Removing the resources needed to track these funds creates a blind spot. When the people responsible for monitoring the ledger lose their funding, fraud can continue to grow, unmonitored and unchecked. Right across from the halls where these sweeping cuts are debated, there is an alternative approach to fixing the government that avoids guesswork. This is the Government Accountability Office. For over 30 years, they have published the High Risk List, a meticulous, nonpartisan ledger of the most vulnerable operations in the federal system. It acts as a technical to-do list for saving taxpayers billions. This methodical ledger replaces political performance with a technical strategy that targets specific, documented vulnerabilities with mathematical precision. Before a federal program makes it onto the radar of a congressional oversight committee, it has to undergo a rigorous technical diagnosis. This flowchart tracks exactly how a program earns a spot on the 2023 list. It must cross a specific threshold. Either it presents a financial risk of at least $1 billion or poses a direct threat to public health and national security. Programs like Medicaid drop into the financial risk category, while the Department of Defense locks into the national security track. The GAO doesn't stop at pointing out the flaws. They prescribe a treatment plan, providing federal agencies with strict, data-driven frameworks that outline exactly how to rebuild their broken systems. Lawmakers are now moving to codify this approach. The proposed True Accountability Act would require agencies to integrate these exact GAO frameworks directly into their emergency response plans to prevent fraud before it can occur. The GAO's list is effective because it doesn't just identify a leak. It provides the exact engineering schematics needed to repair the plumbing. During the 2023 congressional hearings, the Comptroller General presented a case study proving that this methodology produces real results. The Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation, which ensures retirement incomes for millions of Americans, was in a catastrophic spiral. Analysts projected that the program would be completely insolvent by the year 2026. Instead of letting it collapse, lawmakers followed the GAO's methodical tracking. Congress used the data to apply targeted funding and structural improvements that stabilized the agency's finances. The intervention was successful. The risk of insolvency dropped to near zero for the next 15 years, and the PBGC was officially removed from the 2023 high-risk list. Massive failing federal operations are not permanent black holes. With specific, data-driven oversight, they can be permanently repaired. Following GAO recommendations translates directly into a quantifiable financial gain for the American public. This chart tracks the cumulative financial benefits of addressing high-risk areas. Since 2006, implementing GAO recommendations has saved $675 billion. In the 2 years before the 2023 report, these fixes accounted for $100 billion of those savings. This shows that funding oversight pays for itself hundreds of times over. It is a vital economic engine that prevents the drain of public resources. Despite these results, proposals still emerge that push for indiscriminate, across-the-board budget cuts as a substitute for actual efficiency. These chaotic cuts directly threaten the funding for the GAO and the oversight committees responsible for those $675 billion in savings. It is impossible to fix a billion-dollar leak if the staff responsible for finding it has been eliminated. The GAO high-risk list offers the specific, data-driven methodology needed to achieve real results, ensuring that federal accountability is based on evidence rather than political guesswork.